So what is the best options trading strategy for the brand new options trader? Well, there's no best or worst strategy, but I think one of the best strategies has to be the short put. I think the short put is possibly the best options strategy, not just for new options traders, but for experienced traders as well. Why it's especially good for new options traders is because a lot of people, when they first get into options, they're already used to trading stocks. You've already dabbled a little bit at buying and selling shares of stock. Maybe you have a long-term passive investment account where you buy shares of stocks or ETFs. You gradually accumulate a bunch of shares. And if you're used to that and you don't mind holding shares of stock, the short put strategy is fantastic because it allows you to get shares of stock at a discount price. In fact, selling put options is frequently highlighted as one of the premier option strategies due to the fact that it allows traders to generate income. And if the trade goes against you, well, you get shares of the stock that you wanted anyway at a discount price. It's almost a win-win situation. There's one thing that is certain though. Selling put options is less risky than buying shares of stock outright, because at least with selling a put option, if you're selling a put that's out of the money, you can win if the underlying stock goes up, goes down, or trade sideways, right? It's much more forgiving where the stock position, the outright stock position, you have to have the stock to go up to make any money. And if the stock goes down, you're going to lose money. That's just the way that stock works. Options are a little different. So let me jump into the trading platform and I'll show you an example of a short put. Are you looking for an options trading community where you can grow as a trader and learn a little more about options trading? Check out my Patreon. Check out DT Options over on Patreon. When you subscribe to my Patreon, you are granted access to my members only Discord, where I hold a live voice chat each and every trading day. We get together, I share my trading platform, I share all my opening trades, closing trades. You get to see everything I do that morning. You guys get to bounce ideas off of me. I get to bounce ideas off of you. We've got a great trading community there and we'd love to have you as well. Check for the link in the description for the DT Options Patreon. So let me jump inside the TASTYTRADE platform here. I use TASTYTRADE as my broker, and I'm going to go to ticker CCL, Carnival Cruise Lines, because I don't have a current position. And Carnival Cruise Lines is a low price stock. It's pretty liquid. It's got good options markets, and it's perfect if you're brand new to options. And if you have a small account because of the small share price, this is very reasonable to go sell some naked short puts on. So in Carnival Cruise Lines, I'm going to go and let's imagine you wanted to buy shares of Carnival. Well, right now it's trading at $26.40 a share. To buy a one lot, which is 100 shares, you would have to put up $2,640 to buy 100 shares. You know, that can be kind of expensive, especially if you have a smaller account. But instead, what you could do is go sell a put. A lot of times I like going about 60 days out. So I'll go to the 62-day September monthly cycle here. And typically I like selling my puts somewhere between 15 and 20 deltas. So here we have the 22 strike is a 15 delta, the 23 strike's 21, 21's close enough to 20, either one of those. Let's go to the 21 strike. I'll sell that for a 68-cent credit, and the buying power reduction on the trade is $230. So as soon as you sell this put, anytime you sell something, somebody is paying you, you get a credit, right? So if I sell a put and get a 68-cent credit, I get $68 of credit into my account right away for selling that put. Now, the buying power reduction of $230, that is the requirement from the broker. The broker basically thinks that the risk on this trade is somewhere around $230. That should cover 95% of all possible losses on the trade. So the broker wants you to have $230 of free capital in your account that's not tied up into any other trade. You need to have that in your account before the broker will let you open this trade. Now, I mentioned I like selling somewhere around the 15 to 20 delta option here. So on a put that's out of the money, these have very high win rates. The reason they have high win rates is delta is kind of a proxy for your odds of finishing in the money. So finishing in the money would mean the stock falls below my put, which is not necessarily what I want, right? We would rather the stock finish out of the money. The stock finishes above my put because I win, right? So if you have in this case, a 21 delta put, it means your odds of finishing in the money should be somewhere around 21%, which means my odds of finishing out of the money are somewhere around 79%. And that is my win rate. That should be my pop, my probability of profit on the trade. It should be somewhere around 79%. And that's why I stick to that 15 to 20 delta range, because that's always going to give me a probability of profit of somewhere around 80 to 85%. So I like putting on trades that mostly win. It just makes life easier. You have less trades to manage. So I like those high probability trades. Now, if you're new to options, you're coming from the stock trading world, you might say, well, if I'm bullish in CCL, why wouldn't I just go ahead and pay the $2,640 to buy 100 shares now? Why sell a put and you may not get assigned on the put? Well, here's the thing. If you're selling this put, you're selling it out of the money at a 15 to 20 delta range. If you eventually get assigned on the put, well, you're getting it at a discount. Why buy the shares at today's price? Because you don't really know if Carnival is going to go up or down, in the next month, the next 2 months, whatever time frame you wanting to be in this particular trade. So here's the thing, just keep selling puts. If you keep winning, if they keep finishing out of the money, great. You're just going to keep collecting credits, Eventually what will happen, Carnival may have a big down move, maybe on an earnings event or some kind of binary news announcement or something, and you'll get a good pullback. And then you'll eventually get the stock at a discount price. But hopefully along the way, you've also won a lot of trades, collected all those credits. But here's the thing, when it does finally drop and finish in the money, you're still going to collect the credit on that trade too. So you're going to collect all these credits, selling put options over and over and over again until you get assigned the stock. And then at that point, you could just start running the wheel. Running the wheel means now that you've got shares of stock, start selling covered calls against it if you want, or if you're just trying to acquire stock for your investment portfolio, you don't necessarily have to sell covered calls at that point. Maybe you just wanted the shares, and maybe now, hey, I'd like to get some additional shares at a discount. We'll keep selling puts, right? Just sell puts along the way to keep adding shares of whatever stocks or ETFs you're trying to acquire at better prices. It really is kind of a win-win scenario because, you have two outcomes. Outcome A is the stock stays above your strike price and you keep the premium as pure profit, right? And the other outcome B, is the stock drops. You still get to keep all the premium and you get to buy the stock at a price that you wanted, right? You get to buy that stock at a much lower cost basis. Certainly, it's a much lower cost basis than buying the stock at today's current price. So what's the risk on the trade? Well, the risk on this trade is that you have to be prepared on a losing trade. Sometimes you have to be prepared to take the stock. So I would not go sell puts on anything and everything. It should be a stock that if the trade goes badly against you, well, you wanted the shares anyway, or you don't mind holding the shares because it's a real company, or certainly ETFs. Many ETFs, I don't mind holding the shares because, like market ETF, sector ETFs, they tend to go back up over time anyway. So there's less risk in that. But single stocks have some real risk. So don't pick garbage companies, pick real companies. Now, some of you may ask, well, what if I don't want the shares of stock? What if I just want to sell puts for the premium, but I don't really want to take the shares of stock? Well, you don't have to take the shares of stock. In fact, 95% of the time I sell a put on something, I am not trying to acquire shares of that particular company. I'm just doing it for the premium. I'm doing it for a trade. So if I jump back into the platform here, this short put in CCL, if I sold this, I wouldn't necessarily want shares of Carnival Cruise Lines because I'm not trying to acquire, a big stock portfolio right now, right? With my options trading account here, mainly I want to keep all my capital free to trade options. I'm not trying to tie up a bunch of money into stock. So a lot of times when I go and sell like a 15 to 20 delta put at 60 DTE, all I'm trying to do is win on the trade. And by win on the trade, I'm trying to make 50% of the credit received on the trade. So if I sell this put for 68 cents, once the trade it gets to 34 cents profit, 50%, right? Once I get to 50% profit, I'm closing the trade for a winner and then selling a new put, maybe in Carnival, maybe in something else. It'll depend. I'll be searching for opportunities out there for things that have juicy premium versus a low buying power. And that's the trade, right? That's how you do it. You go sell puts, high probability trades that have good risk versus reward. And when you get to 50% max profit, you should take the trade off. And the reason you do that is because it keeps your win rate much higher, because naturally, when you're locking in 50% winners, you're going to have a higher win rate because you're taking trades off that sometimes otherwise would go against you. So always take your winners at 50%, unless you're wanting to let the trade run because you're truly trying to acquire those shares of stock. Another important rule I would also utilize, especially if I'm not trying to acquire the shares of stock, is exit the trade well before expiration. So if I put on this trade at 60 DTE, and let's say it never gets to 50% profit, so it never gets to my profit target. Well, I'm still not going to let this go to expiration because there could be that assignment risk. I could get assigned those shares if it finishes in the money. So at 21 DTE, I will close the trade for whatever the profit or loss is anyway. I'm going to get out 3 weeks early. 3 weeks is plenty of time to get out early. You should almost never face any kind of weird early assignment situation that far out in time, and then just get out of the trade and then put on a new 60 DTE trade if you still want to be trading Carnival Cruise Lines. So let's review my personal rules again. Let's go to a different ticker and I will run through one more example trade. Let me go to a ticker I also don't have anything in at the moment. How about GM, General Motors? Yeah, I haven't traded this in months probably. $76 a share. So if you had to buy shares, 100 shares, you'd have to put up $7,600. But you know what? I'm going to go sell a put. And I don't want the shares anyway. I'm not really trying to acquire shares here. I just want to go sell somewhere between a 15 and 20 delta. The 65 strike is 14 deltas, close enough. 67 and a half strikes, 20 deltas. 20 deltas is good. I'm going to go ahead and sell the 20 delta put. I get a 144 credit on a buying power reduction of 675. That's really good risk reward. I get a $144 credit and I only have to have a buying power reduction of 675. I have to have 675 of free cash sitting in my account to open this trade. The pop on the trade, because it's a 20 delta put, should be around 80%. And that's what TASTYTRADE's actually reporting here, 80%. And because I manage my short put positions at 50% winners, if I'm not trying to acquire the shares, which in this case I'm not, I'm going to take the trade off if I hit 50%. Well, the P50 number, the probability of making 50% of profit, is 91% on this trade. Very high probability trade. And as far as risk reward, I typically like keeping the risk reward somewhere between risking 10 to make 1. In this case, risk reward would be the buying power tied up in that trade versus the credit I receive on the trade. In this case, the buying power is, we'll call it $700, and the credit I receive is around 140. That ends up being somewhere around what, a 4-to-1 or a 5-to-1 ratio, well under my 10-to-1 criteria. So yeah, I really like the risk reward on this trade. This is a really nice trade. I'm recording on the weekend, so I actually can't take this trade, but this might be one I come back and look at on Monday. And I would just ship that, and what happens, if I don't get to 50% max profit or I get to 21 DTE, what happens if General Motors has crashed down like 20%, 30%? What if it goes against me? I sell this put and I wake up one day, General Motors, is trading way below where my short put is. I'm deep in the money. Let's imagine, this trade started life as the 87.5 put, and it originally was a 20 delta put. And I wake up one day and now the 87.5 put went from 20 deltas to 87 deltas, meaning we're way, way underwater. 50 deltas would be right at the money. So, right now it would mean General Motors is trading $11.50 essentially below where this strike is, and I didn't want the shares anyway. Even if I had to take the shares, I'd be $1,100 in the hole on the shares, right? So this is an ugly position. How would you defend this position? Well, here's the thing. On short puts, what you need to do, sell calls when the trade gets ugly. Typically, what I would advise, if you start life on the trade between 15 and 20 deltas where I am, if the trade gets 40 deltas or above, you need to start selling calls, and you need to sell calls to offset the loss. To basically, you sell the other side of the trade to reduce the risk on the trade, because a 20 delta put has 20 deltas of risk. It's basically like I'm long 20 shares of GM. This 43 delta put would be like I'm long 43 shares of GM. The risk is already twice as much, the directional risk on the trade, once it goes from 20 to 43. If it gets to something like 75, 80, 90, I mean, your risk on the trade is, 3, 4, 5 times higher than what you started on the trade. That's bad, right? And you don't want to wait until it gets super deep in the money, because at that point, the trade has gone so badly against you, your options are really limited. Like, you really can't defend that very much. A lot of times you're just stuck. You're just going to get the shares of stock way underwater, and then you're going to bag hold those shares for weeks, if not months, until the stock recovers. I don't want that. So if I sell a 20 delta put If it gets to 40 deltas or above, I'm going to do something. Typically what I'll do is I'll sell a call, and I'll sell a call in order to cut those deltas back in half. So in this case, 43 delta put, I'd sell the 21 delta call. 21 deltas minus 43, it brings the total trade back to 22 deltas. Almost like the starting position of a 20 delta put. You know, my original trade started life with 20 long deltas. Now this trade, you know, is back to being a 22 long delta trade. So that's how you do this. You manage your deltas. Don't let the deltas, don't let those explode higher, right? Keep those deltas in check. And if the put keeps going against you, so maybe the put went from a 20 delta to a 69 delta, you may have to be more aggressive. You may have to come all the way down to the 82.5 where the put is, sell that call that's a 34 delta call to keep those deltas in check. Brings it from a 69 long delta position down to a 35 long delta position. You cut it exactly in half. You're still leaning a little more long than you originally had on the trade if it started life as a 20 delta put, but at least it's not 69 long deltas, right? That's too much risk on the trade. So manage your deltas, pay attention to the deltas, and then take 50% winners and take the trade off at 21 DTE if you can, unless you want the stock. If you want the stock, just sell the put, let it go, and see what happens. Now, if you want to learn more about trading options, especially selling short puts to get long stock, check out my book, The Super Wheel Option Strategy. This book is about one of my favorite option strategies, the wheel option strategy, which is a system of selling puts to get long stock and then selling covered calls. That book, it's published on Amazon. You'll find a link in the description below. Peace, guys.